Hey, y'all. Welcome back to season 5 of the Black Woman Behold podcast.
And this year's theme is Unleashed.
This is more than a theme, it's a declaration.
We're pulling back the layers, letting go of what no longer serves us.
We're letting go of outdated roles, false narratives, unspoken rules that kept us small, and expectations we never agreed to.
And we're naming the shifts Black women can make to feel more seen, more centered, and more free.
We're reclaiming our time, our energy, and our joy. Talking about the shifts Black women can make, a moment to unlearn, unravel, and unapologetically create a life that feels like yours. And because we don't just talk about it,
each episode is packed with tips, resources, and reflection prompts to help you turn insight into action
so that you can carry these conversations off the podcast and into your real life.
We're expanding and building lives that feel whole, honest, and free. We're Unleashed.
Welcome back and Happy New Year. You know, Black people say Happy New Year all along until they see you for the first time for the year. But welcome back to season 5 of the Black Women Behold podcast. We're your hosts, Markia, Anisha, and Kim.
Hello.
And we are Unleashed. We are on episode 8 of season 5 entitled Unleashing Your Villain Era. So again, happy 2026, y'all. And as we get settled into the new year and hoping for a less bumpy ride in 2026, I don't know if we're going to get that. We're stepping away from New Year, New Me and ushering in our villain era. 2026, similar to 2025, has some spicy transits, meaning astrological ones. Right now, there's a lot of things happening in Capricorn. So people are really down to business and really focused.
Okay. And
these transits throughout 2026 are really encouraging you to do like Cookie from Empire and put yourself first, Lucius. Okay. So before we get into that, you know, we have to check in and see how everyone is doing. So ladies, Happy New Year. Welcome back.
Yes.
On?
We know life. It's always life, right? So I'm happy that 2025 is gone though. So
okay. Au revoir.
I think that's it. That's I'm ready for this to see what goes on in 2026. I'm curious, so that's that.
Okay, I'm curious.
Exactly.
Shout out to Atlantic Star. Yeah, so awesome. As we talk about bidding 2025 farewell, what did you learn about yourself? What did that year teach you about yourself?
Damn, 2025 was hellacious in some regard, but also freeing in others. So I think that I do feel like sometimes I've had a pretty easy life in the sense of like, I didn't really go through a lot of hardship. I've always had, support, all the things that, someone needs to thrive, right? Like I didn't feel like I didn't have all the things I needed, but, it was interesting navigating being unemployed all while, trying to figure it out. And health. So, it took some hits, but I just realized like, I hate the word resilience. So I'm looking for another one to use because resilience means like trauma and, suffering. And, I didn't suffer. I had moments, but I think for the most part, like, you know what? Something happens. I can endure it. I can figure it out. I can still feel abundant, even though I don't have certain things. So yeah, it continues like my outlook on life is present whether I'm up or down. And so I think that was really important for me to experience. So yeah.
Okay, I like it. Adnisha.
So I think what 2025 taught me is that I can do new things. And I say that because last year I decided to do something new every month. And I realized that I was frustrated a lot. I think that, especially when you're at a certain place in your career, when you're at a certain place in your life, that comes with a lot of like knowledge. It just does, right? So what does it mean when you're learning something new for the first time? Right? Like who wants to start all over? That's what it felt like, right? Like one of the classes I think I went to cake decorating. I was like, why is this shit so hard? Like I was so mad. Like I wanted to be good at it, right? Because we generally do things that we're good at, right? And so to do something that like I don't know how to do, I'm probably not good at, and to deal with like the disappointment and the frustration, and then to come to a point where it was just like, why don't you just have fun? Right? And just like learn something new and be okay with being a novice. And so I think 2025 taught me it's okay to be a novice at things. I'd rather be a novice than to not know at all, right? Like, so it was fun doing new things, even when it frustrated me a lot. So, yeah, I can do things that are hard and I'll be okay. I'm not gonna break down. And I always seem to be able to smile and laugh. And so in those classes when I was doing stuff, it was like, all right, Anisha, just like pipe it down. It's not that big of a fucking deal, right? The whole thing was, it was like a hobby, right? It was for you to have fun and get to know yourself again. So allow yourself to get to know yourself. So I think that in 2025, I learned that I'm getting to know this new me. And yeah, she could get frustrated sometime when she don't know something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse
What
me.
about you, girl?
For me, I learned I care way too fucking much
Mm.
about a lot of things, and I need to stop. And also that I'm way more talented than I give myself credit for. One of the things that was a reoccurring theme in 2025 is just like how much energy I put into like caring and like doing certain things. And I realized that my 50% is someone else's 100%. I would even say my 20% at times. And that's not a bad thing per se, but everything does not deserve that level of investment and engagement, especially when you are met with people that can't understand or fathom that level of work ethic. So I need to adjust. And, you know, when I'm in a room with people that my 20% is their 100%, I need to meet them where
Mhm.
they are versus burning myself out and, you know, being upset that no one else cares as much. And why are people not doing what I would do? And this, like, it's just, I'm not trying to stroke out. Like, I'm too young for that. So
That's right.
definitely have to do that. And also, again, stop doubting myself. The amount of things that I've experienced this year, as far as people that are making more, asking more for their fees. And I'm like, I could do that 10 times better. Like, and I'm not being cocky when I say that, like, have tangible proof that I can. So I need to also just lean into that audacity and that ability to think that I'm the shit too and just
Come on.
do that. So that's what I have
I,
learned in 2025.
I would like to challenge you. It's not audacious if it's just confidence, right? Like,
True.
it's reality,
You're
you
right.
know. So it's not being audacious,
And
okay?
see, I have someone on the line that's telling you I'm not just saying this shit. Like this is real. I just got to get out my own way, which is a work in progress. Speaking of work in progress, when you think about 2026, what is something that you want to start doing or stop doing?
Mm. I think I want to stop over explaining my decisions.
Like
Fuck
it.
it. I think when I think about like kind of the roles, like I'm a therapist, I'm a sister, I'm a wife. Like, so I've been trained to kind of like contextualize everything, right? Like, let me put
Mm-hmm.
everything in context, let me explain. So I just want to start trusting that if it doesn't work for me, that's kind of enough. Like, I don't need to have a whole thesis. I don't need to have a whole long explanation. Now, I will give people explanations when needed, right? Because I hate when people just say no sometimes when they should be explaining a bit, right? So I will do that when it's needed. But I think there's other times it's not needed and I still do it. And I just want to be able to just say no, like this is not a good fit for me or this doesn't work for me, and let that be enough. Because I think that that's where the overthinking comes in at,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm trying to kind of over explain myself to everyone. And I don't want to do that anymore. So I think that I'm just going to trust that no, this doesn't work for me. And I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to stare at you. That's it.
And that's okay. Slow blink. Kim, what about you?
Hmm. I think it's something I want to get back to. So let me say
Okay.
restart. Back in the day, I used to go to all sorts of things. One year, like I just was, let me go see what's out here. New York has so much to offer. Like I went to go, like I said, see tube and throat singing, and then I went to go sit in like, this lecture about physics. And I read this book a long time ago that said you go do different things because your creativity and like your curiosity deepens when you are looking through different lenses. Like if you look through the same lens all the time, it becomes an echo chamber and sometimes it gets boring. So yeah, I think I just, finding things I'm like that doesn't feel like something I would go to. Versus like, you know what? Yeah, I don't know if it is something I wouldn't go to, but I'm curious. Let me go see what it's about. So I think as we get older, we just get stuck in our ruts to do things and like, I'd rather go home because I'm tired than go out and do something interesting or different. So getting back to that, helping to restart the creativity and let the synapses fire a little better.
Okay.
Okay. start. I have started so many things already. And like I'm not over like and they're all things that I want to do, which is like so exciting. So I have started doing more audiobooks.
Nice.
And it's interesting. I did Will and Jada's books, and unpopular opinion, I don't think Jada was a problem.
Okay.
Jesus. Ooh, Will Smith is annoying. Wow, him reading his book, it was a lot to take in, but it was fascinating to like do those two books. I did her book and then his book because there's all these speculations about their relationship and all this other stuff. But it's also interesting just to see how like people experience relationships, like they were both in the same relationship, and like there are specific stories that they each tell, and it's like from their individual perspectives. It's just like fascinating how people and the mind work. So definitely more audiobooks in 2026. It's a good way to kind of break it up. I love music, but I guess I can like add some, other things to this wealth of knowledge that I already have. The other things, I'm doing Pilates. I actually did Pilates before we got on here. There's a 25-day challenge that I'm doing.
Nice.
Pilates is hard as shit. And it's just me in my house with like 2-pound weights, but yep, we're gonna do that. And I'm continuing my walks, of course, but also I've been in the house cooking. I've been cooking my ass off, bro, and I'm loving it. Like it's just, with everything being recalled and you don't know what's what at the restaurants, I'm better off taking my chances at home cooking. So I got a food processor. I made some butter. I made ginger ale. I've been making pizzas, made a tomato cream sauce yesterday. So just doing more of those things because they bring me joy and they're fun.
Nice. I like that.
Love
The
it.
cooking is cool.
Homesteading,
Yes.
Marquise. Get it, girl.
The
Listen,
butter
you
was
better
lit
stock up
though.
on your stuff. You never know with the damn apocalypse, girl. Get your shit together. You might be eating that stuff 5 years from now.
Listen, I know somebody
You
on TikTok was
preserved it.
talking about canning. So maybe we'll add that to the mix.
Yo.
But the butter, 10 out of 10. Butter is so easy. Take this recipe, y'all that are at home. If you have a food processor, just put some heavy cream in there, whip it for 3 to 7 minutes, season it how you want to. I did sea salt because who was eating unsalted butter? You put it in some wax paper if you don't have a mold, and then you can put it on your bagels. You can use it to cook with, and it tastes way better than store bought. So get into it. So yes, as we know, 2025 was a wild ride from start to finish. Was Cat Williams' interview at the top of 2025 or was that 2024? I feel like every year is the same. But doesn't mean that we didn't run into
It's
all
the
types
COVID
of
years.
Right. Every day is the same day. It's giving Groundhog Day. But from the new people in office to all of the things that have happened, we've had a lot to navigate on a day to day. And it feels like every day you open your eyes, there is another thing. You also have to deal with work and navigating relationships. And I don't know about y'all, but I felt like at the end of 2025, I could not catch a breath, like literally to the point of almost panic attacks, especially when it seemed like everyone had their hands out asking you to show up for them. The jobs were not circling back, as we know. Like there was no reprieve for the holiday season. People were still expecting you to work like the world was just moving on regularly. And like I said, it got to a point at the end of the year when I realized I was burnt out. Like I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to do anything. Fuck a ho ho ho. Like, bro, I just wanted to be left alone. I wasn't motivated. I was irritated. And I just needed to take a pause. So as we're recording this, I've had my phone on Do Not Disturb for like the better half of a week. Because
Wow.
I just can't. Like I don't want to. I will get to it when I can. Everything is not an emergency. I took some time, I reevaluated and concluded that overextension is the problem. That is my problem. As much as I am a no person, there are still people, places, and things that can get me to go outside of those no's. And I started to reflect on those things, and I had to say, like, what can I do to remedy this? And the answer is become a villain. And I don't mean, of course, going full Harley Quinn, hitting people with baseball bats and shit. Not saying that. But what I am saying is putting that hard stop on doing the most and crossing your boundaries for other people. People pleasing just has to stop. And if you're listening at home thinking villain, I'm really asking you to protect yourself and your boundaries the way you would for others in your life. So,
okay.
I invite you both and those at home to join me in villainy.
We just making up words today.
Villainy is a word.
It
Villainy
is?
is a word.
Holy shit. Okay, you learn something new every day. I'm sorry.
Villainy is a word.
I don't think I've ever heard that shit used in a sentence. So
villainy, infamy, all of it.
So I asked you to start centering yourself because you deserve to save some of you for you. So before we get into that, as you know, we're getting ready to go on an adventure. You're about to become a villain, right? So as you get ready for this radical change in the new year, you might need a space to jot down those uncomfy feelings and thoughts that you have as you work through being seen as a bad guy in some other people's story. And just because you are choosing to center yourself does not make you a bad guy. Remember that. But if you need something to jot those thoughts down, grab a copy of the Hey Sis, Are You Okay workbook. And for those moments where you need a safe space, it's going to hold you down and it won't tell your secrets and it won't call you a villain.
Nice.
Check it out on the website.
I better stop playing in 2026.
Okay.
We need villainous names. I need a villain name. Like that's like I need an alter ego, girl.
What would
Give
you
me a
like to be
villain name.
called? Let's think
I
about
don't
this.
know. I don't know. I
Karate
don't
Chop
know.
Kim? Get that shit
What
out
the
of
heck?
here.
Listen.
What?
Oh
You
my
know, no, I want it
gosh.
to be deadly, but like you never see it coming like Kimmy Cakes. Like, oh
Cakes?
shit.
What does cake got to do with villainous?
Exactly. You're not gonna
That's
see it
it's
coming.
unassuming. It's unassuming.
Like
I
Kimmy
get
Cakes
it.
is here. Ah ha ha. Like Venga, you know.
What in the what?
Kimmy Cakes is gonna be my villain name.
I like it. I like it. What would you call me? I don't know.
I,
Hmm.
my creativity is like I'm
Kim,
like,
you're in charge
what?
of the villain names.
I know,
Like,
but it's
what
gotta
the
be the
hell?
opposite. Like,
Hmm.
oh, they can't see
Okay,
it
Kim, you
coming.
can
They're
think
like,
on it and come
ooh,
back with some
yes,
names
yes.
Yeah.
for the
Like
rest
for
of
my
us.
villain
Because
name, it's gotta be unassuming to trick people. I don't know how you want to show up. Like, oh shit.
I'm fine with being unassuming. It's fine.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. We'll come back to it. So, as a person that gives 100%, probably 120 in all facets of life, and someone that considers herself firm in her nose, I've learned that somehow, in some way, that firmness is not always consistent and it does fade when it conflicts with me giving my best, right? So, let's say a family member asked me to do something and I'm like, damn, I said no. But also, like, if I just make this adjustment right here, I could do this and then be the best in both of these spaces. But now, I'm stuck holding the shit bag. That's not fair to me. Like, I'm trying to make sure everyone else is happy, but I already said no. So, as I'm thinking about those things and those conflicts, I'm learning that that faulty boundary has been costing me in some big ways. I'm talking not getting sleep, my health.
Mm.
Let me tell you something. Apple Watch will tell you about yourself and be like, hey girl, did you know your heart rate was doing this and this for the last 8 weeks? Look at this change. Like, oh, wait a minute. I am happy they took away the breathe thing because that used to piss me off. I'm not gonna lie. Apple Watch would be like, just breathe. I'm like, I'm not angry, Apple Watch, relax. So thank y'all for that update. But and more so, being a villain will help me adjust those things because I get to prioritize me, right? I get to be selfish. I get to think about myself and do the things I need. So even though it is a little hard at first to think about it, I definitely encourage you all at home to consider it. So I want to go back to the top of the episode. What are your initial thoughts when you heard me say you're going to lean into your villain era?
So I'm not gonna lie, that's really uncomfortable for me.
Good.
If I had to be like super duper honest, I like being seen as like kind and like upbeat and like easy to be around. So I think what's underneath all of that is that I don't need to be liked, but I like to be liked. Because I think when I'm liked, people open up to me and I get to know people more, If I'm mean mugging, people are not going to talk to me. And so I like talking to random people because I'm like so curious about people's lives. So I kind of always come off like that upbeat kind of thing, right? So leaning into the era, I think it kind of just challenges that part of me that wants to be pleasant and like palatable, to most people. And you know how people be like, I'm not for everybody. I'm the person who'll be like, I might be for everybody. So I think, but what I do realize though is that being nice sometimes comes at an expense, if I have to be honest with myself.
Yo,
So
peace.
yeah, so like this villain era, I don't think it's about becoming someone I'm not, right? Maybe it's about kind of letting go of the need to be seen a certain way, right? And trusting that the people who, I guess, who really know me will understand, right? Like if I have to set a boundary with them, or if I just have to show up in a way where I'm not going to perform for their approval or something like that. Or maybe I'm just choosing honesty over harmony, right? Because when I'm in a group, I also like for everybody to get along, for everything to be good. And so like maybe I'm just being more honest and not wanting everything to be good all the time. And it just might feel awkward. And I could
And
be
that's
okay with
okay.
things being awkward. because it will be different for me. But I do think that also being a therapist all of this time, like I get used to having to like kind of show up bubbly, right? Because like people, when
Hmm.
they come to me, they're not, right? And when I don't, I've had people be like, well, what's wrong with you, Anisha? And I'm like, what you mean? You're not being yourself today. And they expect it, right? So I think that when you have people having a certain expectation of you, right? Like how do you do something different? I'm going to lean into this. I want to thank you for bringing this up today because
Yes,
this is not
ma'am.
something I would probably think about. So maybe I'm leaning into just being more honest. And that even if it feels awkward or even if people kind of not too happy with me, how do I just be honest anyway? So
Oh, I
thank you.
love this. You're welcome. Oh, I'm so excited. Kim, your turn.
I think villain is perception, right? Saying no to somebody could make them think that you're mean or like
Exactly.
so you could be a villain, you just like, oh, I can't do it today. And someone will hate you for the rest of your life because you said no to them. You're like, but all I did was
Absolutely.
tell you no. Like, I didn't ruin your life. I think it's a word that applies to the person that is perceiving you that way. If you are being firm, you're being clear, you're being honest, how can that make you a villain? It can if someone isn't used to experiencing you or experiencing people like that, or their
Hmm.
perception of being told no is villainous, right? And so I think that's kind of where I sit with it. I don't see it as villainy because if you're not being mean, malicious, or intending to hurt anyone, how they have received whatever you've said or done is up to them.
Right. No,
So
I
I
agree
think
with you.
I think if we stop calling it a villain era, maybe people would be more inclined to do it because I think just after listening to Anisha's reaction to the word,
Hmm.
right? Maybe let's find a different word to use so people are more inclined to do whatever the thing is that sits under that word.
I think it might be honesty. I think that kind of plays a part in all of it, right? Because me being honest may actually hurt you, right?
Right.
But that's okay because it is what is needed and it's what is needed for me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like if maybe villain is also kind of choosing yourself in some way, right? Like if I'm honest with you, even if it hurts you, but I know that that is what's best for me and the relationship, then I'm just going to do it.
I
So
agree.
I think that, yeah, that villain era, I think it's some honesty underneath all of that.
And I think people
People don't
just
like
say it,
honesty.
but to both of your points, I think that people call it the villain era as like kind of a joke because you're always the villain in somebody's story, right?
Hmm.
So even if you say to someone in the sweetest possible way, like, "Hey, girl, I broke my ankle and I can't make it to your wedding," someone's gonna be like, "Can you believe that bitch didn't
That's
get
right.
on a
How she gonna
flight
miss my wedding?
and come
I
to
don't
my?
fuck
Do you know
about her
how much
ankle.
I paid for those plates?" So like, it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't slash if with that lens on it, you may as well choose yourself to make sure that you have some for you. And I'm not saying like it's to have everyone else be damned, but it's a matter of like, okay, which need is more important? And in theory, you should be prioritizing yourself. Can you think of the first time you were taught to put yourself last when it came to those around you? And then where do you see that lesson popping up for you most in your everyday life, Anisha?
So that's funny because as y'all know, I'm one of seven. So shit. I think when you grow up in a big family, I think you learn early that being easy can be rewarded, being flexible, being helpful, kind of being the one who doesn't make things harder. And so with that, I think that, sometimes you might come last if you are
Hmm.
trying to do those things, or you definitely ain't coming first, you know? And so, but I think that in my family, I've always tried to be that person since I was a little girl. I'm the middle of the seven, and I still do it today, right?
Hmm.
So I'm always trying to be flexible. I'm always trying to be helpful. I'm one of the siblings that always get called when, something needs to happen. We need to plan something. They need something. It's me. And I think that there's something about that I learned to like, right? I learned to appreciate. Because if I didn't, I probably wouldn't do it anymore. I don't want to be the one that makes things harder. But I think that there's a lesson in that, right? And I think that lesson kind of shows up for me most is with like family dynamics, especially when I'm expected to be kind of the emotional anchor, just because I'm
Hmm.
capable. So it almost seems like people get to say or do things, but because I'm a therapist and I've been in therapy for like 13, 14 years, I'm supposed to be the one who can handle my shit, right? Like you ain't supposed to flip out. I can't crash out. I can't do any of that shit because you know better. And so
Flip a table, girl.
Yeah, I get tired of that shit. Like, I get tired of being the one who knows better. So when you know better, you're supposed to do better. And I
And
normally do. But I was just on vacation with my family, and I was like, if I could hit someone and there would be no consequences, I would probably do it.
not beating everybody up, girl. Not everybody can get
Like, that was the first time I was like, yo, if I could really like hit
it.
somebody with no consequences, be like, I so would do that right now.
I'm gonna call you
Um,
Bibbity Bobbity Boo Bitty Bitty Bomb Bomb. We gotta make that's your villain name, Bitty Bitty Bomb. Okay.
Yo,
So
I love
I
it.
think that what happens is that, you begin to have like all this fucking frustration in you because you've been holding that shit and you know how to process it, you know how to work through it. But then sometimes you just want to hit a motherfucker.
Yeah,
So I don't know if I answered your question,
but
but
it's okay.
I think it taught me that it is harder to be that person, to be helpful and understanding, and to always like have your emotions in check and all of that shit. It gets to be really difficult because you want to crash out, and when you do, everybody is gonna look at you crazy, and you're
Yes.
really gonna be the villain. When it's like, nah, y'all motherfuckers been pushing me
People
a
never
long
see
time
what was
now.
done to you. They only see the reaction, and people are like, "I can't believe you did that." And it's like, so we didn't see anything that happened before this. You only see me. Mm.
And if you're not like, because my mom just believes that I am capable of all things. I'm like, no,
My
I
name ain't
want to fucking
Jesus.
curse somebody out too, mom. Like, I don't want to always hold my shit. I can. I don't mean I want to.
Right.
So,
And it's
yes.
okay. Kim, what about you, girl?
Mm-hmm. Girl, I got a story for you. So,
Uh-oh. Kim's
I
stories are the
ended
best.
2025 with shingles, y'all.
Oh,
Motherfucking
wait.
shingles. Okay.
No, not a good
You get
story. Okay.
shingles
Yeah.
because of stress. You get shingles because you got like a low immune system, but I had it because of stress. So
Mm,
I'm gonna keep the story short because I think it really just spoke to the dynamics of like family going. Like, it's always your fucking family. And
mm,
don't let anyone else tell you anything else. It's always your fucking family. They gave you all the things. If you're in therapy,
100%.
And they're going to push your
church ain't
ass
give you
too.
the family upbringing gave you the things. So let's save you some money and go do something else or go to therapy and talk about that, please. So my mother, my brother, myself, like some extenuating circumstances happen personally. I'm not gonna tell other people's business. I'm gonna just speak from my perspective. And after that event ended, it was me and my mother, my brother. My mother was visiting. So my brother started, saying some shit, which set me off. I'm sitting here reading a book, minding my business.
Mm,
Okay. And so I got set off. Like he had the dynamite, I had the TNT. Now I'm 5'10, my brother's 6'1, my mother's 5'1. My
Oh,
mother is trying to
damn.
get in between
5'1".
me. Yeah, she's sure. She's
I
trying
didn't
to
even
get
realize she
between
was
me
that
and my
short.
brother. We arguing, sometimes, when people are high-headed, they say all kinds of crazy things. So I'm just reacting to what's being said, like, okay, then, you
mhm.
going to go get the bitch, I'll beat her up. Whoever the fuck you go get the bitch right now. I'm going outside to beat her up too, and then I'm come back and beat you up. Fuck are you talking about?
Kimmy
So
Cake's on the way.
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Kimmy Cakes was there. And so then I said to, and my mother was like, stop talking. And I was like, no, I am not going to be the one to walk away from this because this is unacceptable. And,
Mm,
she kept saying, that's how he is. I said, and that's the problem. There's too much enabling happening here. I said, you and the other girl that y'all be doing that. And I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I should have did it so I didn't get no motherfucking shingles. Cause when I tell you my stress level was so high, like I was in combat mode,
right.
ready to like go. Like, what do you want to do, buddy? Crazy eyes, like, come on, motherfucker.
What the
So
fuck?
it was
This is
really,
not a funny story.
it was really fucking wild. Like, yo. So
Oof.
but that's being taught to be the one to always walk away or let things get said, or like it's always that. It's always that. Like conflict in my family does not get handled gently, kindly, or with words. It's yelling, screaming, arguing at the top of your lungs, and just kind of like, saying really horrible things and then acting like you didn't say it like 10 minutes later. Everything's normal. So I know I've talked about that before, but it is very disturbing to me that this is how conflict gets managed in my
Right.
family. So But yeah, that's kind of like the consequences can be physical. So
Literally.
you
They
holding this shit in.
manifest.
They can
Hmm.
be, mental, emotional. They can be all the things. And you're just like, it's exhausting
That's
because I
right.
went from reading my book to shingles like a few days later. And I was really mad.
That's a
Like,
hell of a pipeline.
my
Yeah,
holiday,
that shit is
ruin it.
crazy.
Ruin my holiday. It's like, what
Right.
is that?
And again, another year we no pit
2 days
bullshit.
later, I get
Mm,
shingles. Where it came
mm.
from? Oh, I know where it came from. Stress.
And they trying to take our health care. We gotta be careful, y'all, now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And inducing health issues on ourselves now.
And I
Shit.
mean,
Right.
like so many Black women have autoimmune diseases for this
Yeah.
reason because they're holding in all of these stressors and these things. Being a firstborn child, of course, you're always taught like you got to think about your sisters, you got to do this, you got to do that,
Mhm.
and like it's so interesting because there are certain things in adult life that I see where they pop up. Like I have a thing about sharing food. People be like, "Can I have a piece?" I'm like, "No, no, you cannot."
Oh,
And they're like, but why? And I'm like, because it's mine,
but
right? Like,
why?
it's
But
like
why?
I order, and people are like, oh, I can't. Like, it is a thing when I go out to eat with certain people. Like, I will order what I want. Like, we all have access to the same menu, girl. So we're all ordering what we want. I don't like when people, oh, well, we can all just, no, we can't. I don't want that. I didn't
You're like,
order
this is
Why
the
we
that.
can't
only
just order
control
for the
I have.
table and
You,
we all share? What's the problem, Markia?
because that is not what I want. I
He
ordered what
said,
I
this is
want.
my trigger. This is triggering me. I'll never do it again. Ever.
Like, no, I don't like when people do that. And I think it's just so like, so that's a way where I see like it pops up in adult life where I get very indignant about that. And it's like, if I'm like with my boo, maybe I'm like, oh, because I want to try yours. But generally speaking, even then, I don't want you ordered what you wanted. I got what I want. Leave me alone.
Now the question is, do people know why is that, or do you not care that they know why?
I don't care if
I
I
ain't explaining.
exactly. I you asked if I wanted to go to dinner. I said sure. I said I want to get this thing. Oh, do you mind if I taste that? Yes, I do because I didn't order what you had. I don't want that. I'm not asking you for shit that you got. Leave me alone.
That's
Leave me
funny.
alone.
At
And
brunch, I'm
that
never
goes
gonna
against the
order.
culture. Marquis, it goes against the culture.
I don't care.
Listen, at brunch, I'm never gonna order the pancakes, the French toast, none of that shit. It's too sweet. I'm not gonna do it. But somebody at the table is, and I'm always gonna be like, so like when you get it, can I just taste a little piece? Like,
No,
cause I'm gonna be over here with my egg white omelet trying to stay healthy, but I definitely want a piece of your
you can ask them
pancake.
for a single
And it's
pancake and you
like
can take the rest home.
you
Okay.
can't ask for a single pancake these days. I can't front it. You can.
You could get a smaller order of French toast. Your fork don't need to be on my
I'd be like,
plate.
I just want a little piece.
Keep that fork over there. But that is like one like tangible way. And I think it's funny because I remember like when I was younger, I didn't understand why I'd have like these visceral reactions to it. And like as an adult, like within the last 4 or 5 years, I was like, oh, yeah, you got tired of sharing shit. Like it was like, no, I don't want to do that. So I was always taught to share. I was always taught to like treat people the way I want to be treated, do all these things.
Hmm.
And then you have these life experiences where you see that people really will shit on you and don't give a fuck about what you got going on. And I'm not saying you have to match their energy in that way. I don't believe in that because I do believe in karma. I do believe in things coming back around to people. But what you can do is be like, oh, okay, bet, and adjust. So, yes. But yes, if we ever go out to eat, y'all, I'm so sorry. Order what
Don't
you
touch
want.
my shit.
Please don't.
Order what you want to eat. All right,
Yes.
that's it.
If we're all going out to order food, I just don't
Don't
understand
look
why
at
we
my
need to try
shit.
each other's. Like, I just mentally, I don't get it, but it's okay. It is what it is.
I
So
guess it's
going,
got to be if we're going to eat with you. It's got to be okay. Listen,
we can also order a side of the thing,
yeah.
and I'm a
That's
vibe.
true.
The server will hook me up if I'm like, hey, like she want to try this, like you think you give her a little side plate to bring that from the back. We can make
So
it
he said, give me one rib.
In my
exactly.
hand.
Literally. So, thinking about what the last question, and it sounds like we kind of have an answer already. How do you currently set your boundaries with friends and family? And do you think your no's have always been consistently firm when you've had to give one out?
I think I'm getting better at boundaries with family and friends. And that's mostly because, I'm always one talking about community, let's get all the people together, like, oh, people. And, understanding that being in community, right, as they say, is to be inconvenienced because you're dealing with humans and people and their all their shit. And so I have learned what my firm boundaries are, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, like I don't have a food issue. Like, yeah. But people drinking off of me, like I think
Mm.
that's I don't do that. And so
Oh,
listen,
you mean out your cup?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and or just like, oh, why did
I
you
mean,
do that?
because oral herpes is a thing. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna put it
but
out
people are
there.
still just drinking out of each other's
Well, but
cups and
half the
stuff, or putting a
population got it,
straw in
motherfucker. We
there,
better
you
be
know.
careful.
I mean, or you see somebody pick the cup up and they don't put it in their mouth, but they pour the liquid. You're like, what you doing? What the fuck is going on? So Marquis, I can get that about the food.
See.
Um, But yeah, like, I've started to put my phone on do not disturb at 10 p.m. So if somebody gotta say something, hey, I'll see you
Isn't it
tomorrow.
marvelous though?
Yeah, it
It's
really
so
is. Because
marvelous.
like my
I've
phone
never
used
put
to
my
ring
phone
it
on Do
all
Not
night.
Disturb
Oh my
in my
God,
life.
Anisha, it's life-changing.
Yeah, it's quiet. Allows you to be quiet. And so I think, the phone is really how people access you, right? Like
Yep.
unless you're going to see them in person, you're going to connect with them over the phone first. So really having control over the phone allows me to set better boundaries with people. Like I don't have to answer it right now if I'm in the middle of something. I'll do say, hey, I'll call you back. I like that little auto text, right? Like at least people know I've
Hmm.
seen it. So I think having consistency over like how I am connected through my phone to people has allowed me to have better boundaries because you know, I think that's helpful. I do not think my notes have always been consistently firm, right? Right? Because it's like, okay, this person called or whatever, I saw it, and then I called them anyway. When it was like, you have to stay firm on your boundaries
Right.
because then they'll make assumptions, right? Like that it's okay. Even though you said it, you did the opposite of what you said. So it doesn't matter what your boundary is. People
100%.
violate your boundaries when you don't enforce them or uphold them. So you can't be mad at
Sure.
people. You got to be mad at yourself.
Exactly.
So it's whenever you feel your boundaries been violated, you're like, well, how did I allow it to be violated? That person didn't violate it. I allowed it to happen. So
I think sometimes people don't know what their boundaries are.
Mhm.
They've never really kind of taken the time to think about it. It's not until somebody upset them and they like, wait, does that piss me off? Like, does that one thing, that type of thing, does that bother me? So I think it's
Right.
really interesting that sometimes people don't even know. I think that when it comes to my friends, if there's a boundary, I think it's respected, right? I don't really seem to have issues with friends who, overstep in that way. But I think with my family, it's real
Habitual.
complicated, y'all. Now
Habitual
it's
line
so
steppers.
complicated. I think there's the history, right? There's the expectations. And there's the unspoken roles, right?
Right.
Again, I tell y'all that I play in a family, right? So then it makes me feel like, okay, what do I need to do in this situation? So my no's start out strong. But I think that when the emotions kind of enter the room, right? Like
Hmm.
there's a little bit of guilt. There might be some disappointment that comes up, I might feel like I gotta soften things or I gotta explain or I gotta step back a little bit. So I notice I don't really struggle with knowing my limits. I think I really struggle with tolerating how other people feel about them, you know?
Hmm.
And I think that's kind of the work for me. And I think a lot of this is my relationship with my dad and him just kind of needing me in the ways that he does at 84, right? And I'm tired. Like it's a lot. And I've had to be like, Daddy, you can't call me all day. Like I'm working. Like, I've had to really have some boundaries around my time and when I can talk and when I can deal with him because he really just be pissing me off. He's like an old dude where it's like, yo, you call me like 10 times a day. Like, bruh, like where did you not see that this is not okay? So I've told him, but then it's like, do I give him you know, some grace because he's an old dude? Or am
Right.
I like, yo, dude, this is what it is. Like, I need you to do it. So now I have my mom kind of helping to back up my boundaries with my dad. So that's been super helpful. But I don't think my no's have always been consistently firm. And I don't think people know that. The people who take advantage, they fucking know. Like they know what they can do to get me to change my mind or for whatever it is. Yeah, I would probably need to continue to work on that. I think a whole year one time in therapy, we was just working on me with boundaries. And it was especially with my dad. So he's always been the culprit for years now. So
Habitual line stepper.
always.
Oh, you know what's so interesting? I posted something earlier from this account that I follow, Impress Gemini. And she said a lot of people were never taught emotional literacy, relational responsibility, conflict resolution, long-term thinking, and maintenance over momentary pleasure. So they move through relationships the same way they move through everything else, seeking comfort, convenience, stimulation, and relief. So they're not looking to build or reciprocity a lot of
Or they
times.
want what they want, right?
Right.
Right.
And it's really
And
about
you're the
them.
person to give it to them.
Yep.
If you're giving the money, you giving the booty, you giving it all, you
Not the
give
booty.
whatever. You're giving them the couch because they ain't got nowhere to stay. Reese's. You know, it's so many things out here. Like, y'all really are just letting people walk all over you, spend your money, stress you out. Have
Yeah,
you out here looking and
yeah,
feeling
there's some
bad.
shit I don't play about. Like there's this rule, ain't nobody else coming to stay in my house.
I don't blame
I've
you.
had people stay and I'm like, ain't nobody else. And so what I did in my second bedroom, I made it into my office. I got workout
Smart.
shit in
You
here.
said not a
I got
futon is
it ain't no
touching me
motherfucking
down.
bed in this bit. I said that's what I'm gonna do. Don't have a fucking bed. Why didn't you think of that before? Yeah, no, there's no bed, y'all. What you mean? I don't got no bed in there. You been in my other room? Ain't no bed in there? No. This is where I get dressed and I work out and I work. I know ain't no bed in this bitch. Cause ain't nobody else coming up in here. And when you got a big family, it's like, oh, you know, Anisha got an extra room. Oh, wait, slow down. Slow the fuck down.
They
So, yeah.
they volunteer your place to their friends. You're like, you didn't
Oh,
even
such and such
ask.
is coming in town. They can stay at your house, right? Hold up. What are y'all talking about? So,
Said I'm gonna
yeah.
make this. He said they're gonna be uncomfortable because I'm gonna be comfortable. Somebody got to be uncomfortable. It's not gonna be me.
Hello. In my own space. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. On the flip side, when you think about work, are you more firm in your nose at work? I feel like I'm definitely more firm in my nose at work. I'm not doing that. No, thank you.
I think,
Uh-oh. Do we have a
I
bigger
mean, I
issue?
think on paper, like my boundaries are already real clear and it's clean, but it's a little bit more messy. I think that because I deal with people with mental illness and my clients have my phone number. Like now every therapist don't roll like that but I haven't had my clients abuse it, you know? I've been
Right.
very good with the last like 14 years. I have had nobody like really abuse it. I did have this girl that would text me like at the crazy times of night, like 1 a.m. type shit.
No.
And I had to have a conversation with her and I was fine with it. I was like, hey, if it's not an emergency, there is no reason that you should text me at that time. Right. And for me, I got 6 siblings, an old father and an old mother. If anybody is texting me, that shit means emergency. You know what I mean? At that time of night. And she was going back and forth from California. And she was like, oh, Anisha, I forget the time. But you can't. You can't forget the time, okay? You cannot text me after 9:30. All right. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't think about it. So yeah. So I think sometimes I let people fuck up and then I bring them back, it feels like.
Okay.
But maybe I should just be saying to people like, oh, don't text me after this time when I meet them. And I don't know why it never kind of comes up because I haven't had too many people kind of violate it. So it's been interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kim?
I would say it's half and half, right? Like you take on more work, right? Like, and I'm thinking about, a lot of people end up taking on more work when someone leaves. Your boundary about being overworked or whatever. I think a lot of us have bad boundaries when it comes to work because sometimes it's the place where you get a lot of validation
Right.
and joy or whatever, if you enjoy your job or what you do, or just a job being done well. Okay, accomplishment, right? So I think a lot of people have bad boundaries when it comes to work, because if you're going to keep taking on more work without more pay or whatever, or more projects because it's supposed to get you ahead, a lot of people don't have good work boundaries. So I'll say that I think for myself, at one
Yes.
point in time, me and Anisha were meeting at 11 o'clock at night.
Woo.
We had a meeting at 11 fucking p.m. The
Y'all,
shit
I had to
started at
implement a
11
rule
p.m.,
here.
motherfuckers. Okay.
Yep.
We was
I
like, what
implemented
the
that
fuck are we
rule.
doing here talking at 11 p.m., bitch?
Yeah, my husband be like, are you kidding me right now? What you doing? I'm working. And my family be like, why are you working at this time? I was like, because I got like 3 jobs. What the fuck? I got to figure out the time to do all these things.
But remember when I put in that rule about those late night meetings? That's
Yeah,
exactly
you were very
why.
clear.
You was
Yeah.
like, y'all gonna
Because,
stop torturing me.
but it's not even torturing, right? It's just like at that point, you're burnt out, you're tired. And like,
Like,
we're not even doing anything anyway. We're gonna have another meeting because we didn't get through all the stuff.
yeah.
So that was why, that was the real reason for cutting it off. Because it's like, I'm good up until this point in the day. After that, I can't promise you I'm retaining shit. So it's not gonna be worth my time or your time.
It's a,
So
it's a waste of time.
hello.
It's a
Now we're
waste of time.
doubling the time to execute on the thing, and it doesn't make sense. So yeah,
You gotta know your capacity. You gotta know your
absolutely. And know
capacity.
your
Right.
So,
patterns. When you don't honor your no, what upsets you the most about that?
mm, I think the fact that I betrayed myself, right?
It is.
Like, bitch, you knew better. Cause
Sitting there looking at yourself like, really?
here
Really?
you are again. Like, you didn't learn from the last one that got you all mad and shit. Now what? Why would you say yes? Because you felt bad, felt sorry.
Hmm.
Like, it was, just kind of like those things.
Yeah,
I think that, yeah, it's like you gave yourself a pep talk. You're not gonna do it. Da, da, da. And you just said, "Oop, sure." You're like, what the fuck is going on here?
no, no, no. Like it's just,
Like that, because
yeah,
now you're being dragged into whatever, and you didn't think about how this is going to impact you, because you know it's going to
exactly.
impact you. Otherwise, you would have been okay. So I think it's just that, like, some of those things.
Like I would go with that betrayal again, right? Because
Hmm.
when it happens, nobody else see it, right? But you feel it, right? And I think
Hmm.
that resentment is a motherfucker, right? Like, and then you get,
Have
and
you
I
ready to
feel
knock somebody
tired,
in the head?
yeah,
Woo.
right? Like, and there's this like kind of low grade irritation going on,
Every time
you
you
know?
see them, you be like, you talking again. Your face. Like you, yeah,
And where am I putting that energy, right? Like it don't have nowhere to go. I'm just mad. So I'm but you got to be more upset with yourself because I'm more upset with myself because I knew it and I let it happen anyway. I think what upsets me the most is that like you knew better and you keep doing the same shit to yourself.
right.
So just trying to work through that.
Yeah. Say because there's nothing worse than disappointing yourself, right? Like
That's what
even
it
when your
is.
parents would tell you, be like, "Oh, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed," but when you do it to yourself, you like, I don't even have nobody else to blame. Like
Right.
I literally did not have to do this. So, ugh. Now, lastly, what is one thing you're going to prioritize this year that centers you? So, what is the one thing, your selfish thing for 2026?
Mm. I want to prioritize time that is not accounted for.
I like it.
Listen, it's not explained. It don't got no purpose. I just kind of just want room to just be like chilling, but also like not binge watching some shit either. I'm feeling like when I am done working and it's late, you got the like fear of missing out. Like, so I want to stay up later and I end up like watching some shit. Like
Hmm.
last night, I was up until 2:30 in the morning.
Not revenge bedtime, girl. Oh
Okay, I
no.
don't know if anybody's seen Heated Rivalry, but
I've heard
No.
that it's really good.
oh, good Lord. I binge watched the whole shit yesterday. It's amazing.
What platform is it on?
HBO Max.
Okay.
But just to let you know,
Spoiler alert,
spoiler
possibly.
alert, it is some soft core porn, gay
Oh, I've
porn.
I've heard this.
Yes,
I hear that part
yes,
Yes.
mentioned.
Give it up.
yes. There's no, you're not gonna see any penis or anything, but that shit is wowzer. But is it like I was like, wait a minute, hello? So, but yes, so I think that I just want to prioritize time that is not, I don't have anything to do, but I also want to figure out other things to do than possibly doom scroll or possibly look at some fucking series on TV. So that's what I want to
Audiobook.
prioritize. I gotta figure out how to listen to audiobooks and not fall asleep because I used to have the audiobook shit and I used to fall asleep. So like I gotta figure that out. But yes, I just want time where I don't got no shit to do. I just do whatever I want. But I'm not gonna do those two things.
I
So
like it.
yes, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I think it's interesting. So I am at a friend's place while they're away for about a month. So hanging out, and it's giving me like a sort of retreat
We love
space.
it.
So I've been taking naps, I've been hydrating, like I've been putting the things in place that I've like been claiming that I wanted to do, right? Like, but I watched this TikTok that said, don't eat for 4 hours before you go to bed because that's the time for oxygen in your brain. Like, you're taking away from it because, well, it's because it's digesting. You really don't want to be doing it. So just like taking all those things that I've been,
Hmm.
just putting them in action, right? Like, so building some consistency around my well-being, right? It's not an afterthought. It can't be an afterthought this year because so many things, right? I just was really thinking about like my health in a way that I haven't had the time to, right? Every fucking year for the last few years since I've actually had COVID, I have been sick like in December. Last year I had fucking COVID and I missed my Pitbull concert.
Hmm.
Okay. One year I had fucking pneumonia and I had to get a discectomy. This year I had shingles. I was like, bitch, you were having, and when you had the flu, like it was like down bad. Like, what is going on? So I've been doing bone broth, water, tea, got, the mushroom thing, doing all my stuff. So really just putting things in place to get me right and taking my naps. If I'm tired, take a nap. And so I've just been, this using this month to like hopefully go on as I mean to this year, but focusing on my health.
Okay.
I love it. All the things I mentioned in the beginning. I'm so into like cooking. Like I liked cooking before, but I don't know why all of a sudden now put me on Food Network, I'm ready. But it's so, I don't know, it just makes me happy. I used to use cooking as like a party trick when I was like dating back when I was young. I was like, I just want to be in. And I would always cook for men, but I wouldn't cook for myself. And now I'm like, I'm just in here cooking for me and I love it.
You better
So
pick me more, Kia.
I was
Oh,
young, girl. It was when I was a child. It's
we
back
might
when
have
I
to
was
do
a
an episode
child.
about that nonsense. Ugh.
I mean, you definitely can. But no, it was a thing. Like when I was younger, right? Like, you're taught like, oh, you're gonna find a husband and do all this stuff. And like men like women that can cook. So back when I was foolish, I used to do that. But now I'm in here cooking just for me and I'm having the time.
All right. Come
I
on.
love it. I
So
love it. I love
Doing shit for
it.
me.
I'm just saying, it's again, get a food processor. Get the one. This is not sponsored by KitchenAid, but you can make so many things in that thing, and like you just feel this sense of accomplishment. And then when it tastes better than what you can buy in the wild, it's just such a great feeling. So just consider it if you need a little pick me up in life.
It's also
Okay.
like a dopamine thing, like, oh, look at it. I made something, right? Like
Yes,
it's how you get like, you got to figure out where your dopamine hits can come from. And a lot of us are not, cooking is one of them, working out is another, right? Like,
yes.
look at
So
all
think
my
about it. I
food today.
walk. I'm like high all the time. Then I guess right. Like I walk.
Yeah.
I cook. I'm out here just like doing Pilates. I'm having a
Do
time.
you feel better though? Do you feel a difference? I
I
think that's,
do. So
yeah.
also like on TikTok, this whole thing going around of everybody being a Chinese baddie. So I've been committing to drinking like the
Taking your
hot
hot water,
water.
girl. You know,
Yes.
hot water.
You Chinese too? Yes.
Ni
So
hao
drinking the
ma,
hot
more
water.
hina chinga chinga shama, watching bo.
Yeah, so I've been drinking my hot water. I've been
Love
doing
it.
clove tea in the morning as well. Like I said, just cooking a lot more at home. Like also like even the quote unquote bad things. I have a pan pizza recipe if you need one, people that have cast iron skillets. Girl, I'm having a time. But like it's just I don't know how to describe it. It's just a very happy thing.
What era
But
is this? You're not in your villain era, girl. You in another era. So
I'm
you
in
talking
my like
about being a
I'm
villain.
in
What are you
my
talking about?
I'm in my soft life villain era.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a
Combine.
soft life villain. So
So,
my soft life comes at the expense of being a villain to others, I guess, right?
ooh,
Ooh, you
yes.
see it? Okay, there we go. So I do have a game for us.
Ooh, sorry.
It's not a real game. It's an easy game. I'm going to read you a scenario and you're going to give me a short quick answer to the scenario and the reason that you said it. So just I'm going to
Okay.
read
Okay.
them. That's all I got for you. Ready?
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Okay. So, scenario one, your friend calls you at 10 p.m. and starts venting for 45 minutes,
Ooh.
even though you have an early morning. What do you do and why?
I gotta get off. I gotta like if I've given the full 45 already, I gotta be like, listen, I really gotta get up in the morning. I love you. I'll try and sum it up for them, right? And put it in a little bowl, try to be helpful, but then I gotta get up out of here. Word up. I gotta go.
And why would you say that?
Because at this time, I've given her enough, right? So now I gotta give something to myself. Right. So like I know I got to go to sleep. I need to go ahead and get to sleep. And I think that I've already been a friend. If I've given 45 minutes, I've already been a good friend. And I think that was good enough. Anything more, like now we talking in circles actually after 45 minutes. I've heard the whole fucking story. Like I've done all the things. Like, we're done. Yeah, I'm out. I'm getting
See,
off.
the issue is if I gave you 45 minutes, I'm invested. We're going to figure this shit out, bitch. Because now I'm in. I am mad.
We should have figured it out about 45. What the fuck?
Listen, that's the problem. The problem is 45 minutes of it. We're here. Now I thought of other things. Like, how we going to figure this out? Now you've pulled me into it. I had to stop that shit at 10 minutes. Because
And
if
what
I
would you
went
have
to
said at the
45,
10-minute mark?
I would have said, listen, I cannot give you the time and attention you need right now for this. Can we do this tomorrow? Is this something that needs to happen tonight? Because if it is, okay, I can give you X number of time. But if it is something you can wait till tomorrow when I'm more fresh, please let me know. I'll give them the option because I want to be fair. Like if you got to talk to me for 45 minutes, you venting about something, I don't want you to make a dumb decision if I needed to be there to help you think it through.
Right.
So yes.
Right. Next one.
All right.
A colleague sends you a non-urgent work message on a Sunday afternoon.
I ain't reading that shit. I'm not reading it. I'm not even reading
She
it.
can forget it.
It's staying, what is it? It's staying bolded, unread, bitch. Don't look for me to answer nothing.
And I ain't reading until Monday at 9 when I start. No earlier either.
I used to have a thing on my email signature that said I check my emails at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Like, don't look for nothing because no, that's an easy one. Hell no. Don't say nothing to me on the weekend. What about you, Marquia? Because I don't know. What you the villain? What
You know I'm not answering that. In my current iteration of life, no. I actually have my team set to get notifications only from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Okay.
So yeah,
that ain't making its way through.
And my phone doesn't go off with do not disturb
unread
until 9:30, and the do not disturb that I have on up until that point doesn't show me any notifications from any work application. You will not get me. The email will not find me until I'm ready to be found.
Important.
Because no. And then like you gotta stop responding right away because then people start expecting that. Like
yes.
You set yourself up.
What you doing sending something on the weekend? In France, when you do that, you can sue people because you're not supposed to contact them outside of work hours. They enforce stuff like that elsewhere. Here, these motherfuckers don't care.
What's about
a former boss sent something at 2 a.m. in the morning. I was sleeping, but it was like, what the fuck you doing up? Why are you sending that?
Well, a lot of people will tell you like, hey, I don't need you to answer. I'm probably going to send it at this time because this is the time I work. Right? Like, so some people are clear, like their work hours are crazy. I don't expect anything. But also, you could just schedule the send. Like, you don't have to send it at 2:30, motherfucker. You could schedule a send and it'll get to me at 8 or 9 or whatever time.
Right.
It's right there. It's right there.
Right.
Everybody
you want me to look at
using schedule send. Like, what you want a cookie just in case I'm up? Fuck out of here. 2 a.m. It said 2:12 a.m. Like, no, goodbye. Going to sleep.
You're invited to a networking event you dread, but you feel obligated to support the host.
I don't dread networking events. I don't get it. I love networking events. I'm gonna meet people.
Kim said I'll be there. Kim said I'll be there.
I just went to a networking event and I had a good time. But I did go because of the person I was giving it. It was like my boy from graduate school. So I was like, I'm going. But also I was like, I'm always gonna meet somebody. Yeah, because I'm always gonna meet somebody. That's how I feel. Like, fuck it. I'll meet somebody to talk to, maybe 1 or 2 people. I'll see him. I'll have a good time. So it would have to be a networking event. It would have to be some shit I really don't care about. You know? Like a topic that I don't want to do this shit.
Right.
I would probably go and I would give myself a good hour and then break out.
Okay. That's fair compromise.
Yeah.
Kim, if it was some type of
do I dread it? I'm gonna dread it. I don't know. That's never been a thing that I've thought, so I don't know how to answer that. Like,
let's say it's like an event. Somebody invites you someplace and you don't want to go. Can you come to me to my friend's homegirl's birthday party? And you're like, but you would go.
Outside. Right, but I'd like to be outside.
Kim is never going to say no to it.
Girl, I ended up in so many places I probably shouldn't have been because, let's go here. Yeah, sure. I walk out the damn door at 11 a.m. Like, been up since fucking whatever. I left work.
I will give you that one because that is true. I don't think I've ever heard you say no to going out. Someone asked you to co-sign a loan, which makes you feel financially.
No.
Hell no.
I did that shit a long time ago.
I
Mm-mm.
let that motherfucker know it's red and not answer it. I'm not answering that. No, thank
You do
you.
that dumb shit in your 20s and then you learn. No, that's a fucking no.
I think parents would do it for children, so it might be,
For
do they?
friends, all types of people,
Yeah.
siblings, cousins, like,
Like I should have never
why
got
would
that
I?
call
So,
from
what
you.
are you telling me about your credit? If you need me to co-sign, you're telling me that you can't be trusted. The fuck out of here. No. I did that shit for somebody and they missed a payment but on their car and they never told me. You
Oh,
could have told me. It wasn't that much. It was like $300 back in the day. You could have told me I would have paid it and you'd have just paid me back. Now you done fucked up my credit score for no fucking reason. So yeah, nah, that's a no.
unfortunately, no. Your relative gives unsolicited critical advice about your life.
Gives unsolicited critical
Advice
advice.
about your life.
Depending on how I feel. Depending on how I feel, I might give you some unsolicited critical advice about your life too. You the last motherfucker that should be talking. And this is why. But if I'm in a good space, yeah, go ahead. As long as it don't cross no lines, and it's not mean, okay. I might ask, why do you think you need to tell me that? I might be a little curious about the whys and wanting a little bit more understanding. But okay. If it's not too bad, I'll listen.
Kim?
I allow the elders. My aunt is 82. She can tell me something, but she's not gonna be on the phone long telling me, all right, thank you, honey. Thank you, Annie. Thank you for letting me know. My other aunt is in her 60s. No, she's 70s now. Sometimes the way she said, I'd be like, you know what? Thanks a lot. Let me go now. I think it also depends on the person, right?
True.
Do they mean well? Are they, why, right? The motivation for them to give me that, are they trying to, as they see it, right? Like, because they could see it a certain way, prevent me from going down the path that they went down, right?
Mhm.
You never know.
I don't mind
Somebody,
learning from other motherfuckers' mistakes. I'm good with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Listen here.
Hmm.
Like, shit, I didn't know that. You know what? I didn't think about that.
Thank
Let
you.
me let me look at
Yeah.
that another way.
Well, thanks for playing the game. So, as we get ready to wrap things up, we want to
Wrap
make
it
sure
up.
that we provide y'all with some tips and tools /
Oh
resources
yeah.
as you navigate your first time being a villain. Maybe it's not your first time. Maybe it's just like, you got to go back into that mode to, have peace for yourself. One of my favorite books is Dr. Nedra's book, Set Boundaries, Find Peace. And she talks
Mm-hmm.
about navigating all those things, especially as Black folks. It's really hard to get away from those familial obligations at times. So you're often stuck just eating shit, unfortunately. But, ladies, do you have any resources that you would like to recommend? An author, platforms?
You know my girl. We met her in June. Trisha Hershey. We got a photo with her. She got our book, y'all. She got Hey Sis, Are You Okay? She bought the book at the Schaumburg Literary Festival event. We got a photo
Yeah.
of her in front of our tent. The Nap Ministry, the Nap Bishop. She's amazing. I think, she teaches that rest is a form of resistance and a necessary boundary. It reframes the act of sleeping and resting as a spiritual and political tool against the pressure of grind culture and productivity, which eats us up
Come
because it
on.
leads to burnout. Eats you
It
up,
is. It
eats you
is.
up. And it aligns perfectly with the villain era theme because it emphasizes that prioritizing rest is an essential, unapologetic act of self-censoring. Come through. In self-care, Audre Lorde said it's a, act of survival. So, I love that.
I think I know this really good book. It's called The Audacity to be Queen by Gina DeVay, I think it is. So it's not just about boundaries. It also kind of talks about, how do you center yourself, kind of owning your self-worth, being more unapologetic about what you want. And so I think that it really aligns with the villain era theme because it's about putting yourself first. So I think that's a really good book, y'all.
I like it. Well, thank you, ladies. I know that the word villain can kind of be jarring, but sometimes being the villain is the answer to peace. Although other people may receive you giving less of yourself to their needs and wants as unfair, you have to remember that just as they tell you on an airplane, you have to take care of your own mask before you can try to help anyone else.
There you
You
go.
can't do shit if you don't have anything to give, and you need some you for you. So don't feel bad about putting yourself first. Let people think that you're mean or what have you if it means that you're going to be able to preserve what you need for you. So thank you all for listening.
Thank y'all.
We'll see y'all next time. Make sure you follow us on social media, and we'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Black Woman Be Whole podcast. If you want to keep up with what we're doing, you can find us on Instagram at Black Woman Be Whole, on Facebook at Black Woman Be Whole. You can even go to our website, blackwomanbewhole.com, where you can join our mailing list and you can find out what we're doing as far as events, where we'll be, if we're vending. You can also get a heads up on any information about upcoming podcasts and any product releases we're having. We appreciate you, sis. We'll see you next time.